So there was a report that back in January, the Knicks and Dante DiVincenzo had internal discussions about a return to New York in the offseason. And here we are in summer. It's June 24th when I'm recording this. And an article came out yesterday talking about how Mitchell Robinson is a trade candidate because of his expiring contract, his lack of durability, and of course his liabilityness. I don't know if that's a word, but he can't shoot free throws. So late in games, Mitch is basically unplayable. But the biggest thing is not his ability. We all know Mitchell Robinson's one of the best centers in basketball. There's no question about it when he's on the court. But in terms of being an expiring contract, he's going to go for a lot of money. You have to realize that there's some teams in the league that would love Mitchell Robinson and they're going to be willing to pay for it. The Knicks are not going to be able to match that. Remember Isaiah Hartenstein? You guys remember him? Yeah, he just won a championship, of course, on Sunday with the Thunder. The Knicks could not pay him as much as OKC. I think that's what's going to happen with the Knicks. I get Mitch is homegrown and maybe he'd take a discount, but relying on that doesn't seem very logical. Whereas if you can flip him for Dante DiVincenzo, I don't even think you hesitate on that. I would personally do that. I understand that if you trade Mitch, who's the backup center behind Karl-Anthony Towns, the Knicks are already lacking depth, so that would be an issue. But there's two things. One, Ariel Hukporti. It was limited play last season, but he showed that he's got a lot of potential. The issue for him is that Tom Thibodeau was the coach. He didn't like to go deep into his bench. He doesn't like to develop rookies, especially second-round rookies, the last pick of the draft. So there's one. The second thing is you could bring back Precious Achiuwa, which would give you a little bit of size, a 4 and a 5. I think Precious is personally better at the 5, but if you want to put him at the 4, I guess. And then the last thing is going to be James Najee. If you guys don't know who James Najee is, he, of course, was acquired in the Karl-Anthony Towns trade from the Hornets, so the Knicks got his rights, and he's planning on trying to make the NBA. Maybe a two-way, maybe the G League, I don't really know, but I think the center depth behind Cat would be just fine without Mitch. Again, yeah, like obviously it wouldn't be as good, but you're getting a huge, huge upgrade at the wing / combo guard type of position. I mean, Devo can play the 1, 2, or the 3. Doesn't really matter where you put him, but I love this because he can shoot. The Knicks were the 10th best three-point shooting team in the playoffs. Only 16 teams ended up making it. Goes to show that you can't really leave a bunch of threes out there, especially ones that are uncontested, or you're going to lose that game, and that's what the Knicks were doing. They didn't shoot the ball well at all, and it cost them a ton of games. So you bring in DiVincenzo, not only can he make the threes, but you can't double Brunson. If you're guarding Dante DiVincenzo, who can shoot from 25 to 28 feet out, you got to get out there or he's going to make you pay. So it's going to cause a lot less pressure on Brunson and even Cat because there's no double team coming. I mean, you'd have Brunson out there, you'd have Mikal Bridges, you'd have OG Anunoby, Dante DiVincenzo, and Cat. Josh Hart off of the bench. I would 100% put Devo at the 3 and then bring Hart off of the bench with Deuce and Shamit and DeLon Wright, and hopefully Precious can come back. I don't think he is, so like Bacom Dadier, and yeah, it goes on and on. But you guys get the point, is that Mitch is an expiring contract. He can't stay healthy, and he can't shoot free throws, which makes him a liability. He's also limited offensively outside of offensive rebounds and like putbacks and lobs. I mean, I hate to even say anything bad about Mitch because he's the longest tenured Knick. I really like Mitchell Robinson, but as soon as these rumors started to come around about him being a trade candidate. Not necessarily saying like Mitch is going to be traded, but he is a trade candidate. And it makes sense because we see this a lot. Guys on expiring contracts being traded, like Kristaps Porzingis. It's on the trade block. He's an expiring contract. The Knicks know him well. Obviously, we drafted him and developed him. So I would definitely do this. I'm interested to see if Knicks fans would. Normally, when talking about Mitchell Robinson, nobody wants to trade him because he's such a fan favorite. But when it comes to Devo, I think that's a completely different story. He became my favorite Knick, honestly, in just 1 year here because of his toughness, his tenacity, his ability to shoot from anywhere. He's a scrappy player, and he matched the Pacers' physicality. The reason I think why the Knicks honestly went to 7 is because of Dante DiVincenzo. He just stood on business, and it sucks too. Because you go and you look at that, what was it, game 6? I mean, he could not miss. Didn't he had what, 40 was it? 38. Yeah, Devo had 38 points. That's just ridiculous. And he doesn't even touch the ball. As soon as it hits his hands, he's putting up a 3 and it's going in. I mean, that game, honestly, we don't really like look back on it because the Knicks lost the series. They lost that game and Devo got traded. But we have to like really talk more about that. I mean, he completely took over that game. I remember Pacers fans telling me how impressed they were. It was just that remarkable. And Mitchell Robinson, can he take over a game like that? That's the thing, because he's so limited, and we also have to talk about his stamina. Mitch can't go out there and play 35 to 40 minutes in a game. Devo can play 48 minutes, and he's still going to be the same player from minute 1 to minute 40. I think this makes the Knicks a better team, and they'd have 2 more years of Devo. Remember, he signed a 4-year deal with the Knicks in free agency 2 years ago. He played his first year, second year was with Minnesota, and he's got 2 years left. And the thing about Devo as well is he's going to take a pay cut because he's playing with Brunson, Mikhail, and Josh Hart, his best friends. Like, he's playing with the best man at his wedding. I'm not saying he's going to take a dirt cheap pay cut. He's going to take a pay cut. Why would he leave the Knicks? It makes literally no sense. And I know a lot of Knicks fans don't want the Villanova connection. That's not even what this is about. I don't want you guys to think I just want to take every Villanova player. I just really like Dante DiVincenzo. And I wouldn't trade Mikhail for Devo. I mean, would I rather have Devo? Don't tell anyone I said this, but yes. But you already traded 5 first-round picks for Mikhail, so like it would make literally no sense. I think you just swap Mitch and Devo. Now, the only other thing that I'm thinking about at the top of my head is that what would the Timberwolves do with Rudy Gobert? Because you'd have Rudy and Mitch, that would be pretty icky. Like, that would make literally zero sense. So I think to that point, you'd have to trade Gobert. But the Timberwolves tried to do that. They offered Gobert, DiVincenzo, first round pick. I think it was 17, and like I said, another Rob Dillingham or whatever for Durant. And I think Durant just didn't want to be in Minnesota. He wanted to be in Houston, which is why they took a lesser package, because like if Durant got traded somewhere he didn't want to go, then that team like isn't going to be able to extend him because Durant has all the say in that. So yeah, it's a business at the end of the day. But I love the last year's team. I know I'm glazing it, and you guys actually had my back in the comment section in my last Devo video. I thought last season's Knicks team was better than this one. With Hartenstein, with DiVincenzo, this might sound crazy, and I get it, but I'd rather have DiVincenzo and Isaiah Hartenstein than Cat and Bridges. Like, it makes no sense, but the defense and the chemistry, like the fit, just maybe it was Tibbs. I don't know, but I think legitimately this year's Knicks team would have lost to last year's Knicks team, like healthy. Like, the defense was number 1 in basketball after the OG trade. And we saw, of course, that Jalen Brunson, he wasn't a liability defensively, because if there's one bad defender of 5, you can live with that, but you can't live with 2. And also, last year's team was deeper with Boyan, too, who could shoot the lights out of the basketball. And, of course, Precious was a part of the rotation. I like that team. I think the Knicks, honestly, have just fallen in love with too much offense. And you're not going to outshoot teams in the playoffs, especially really good teams like the Pacers, who took the under to 7. I legitimately, if Hallie didn't get injured, I think the Pacers would have won that. So let's not act like the Knicks just ran into a bad Pacer team and they got lucky. Like, no, they were really, really good. Rick Carlisle is probably a top 10 coach ever. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you trade Mitchell Robinson for Dante DiVincenzo? I just think it's the safe thing to do, because Devo, it's not like his season last year with the Knicks was a fluke. He came in and was built for New York. The Knicks need shooting, toughness, physicality. And Mitch, yeah, he can provide some of those things, but he's also just a risky player because, for one, he can't stay healthy. For two, he can't close out games because of his inability to shoot free throws. And then 3, and most importantly, he's an expiring contract. So do you want 1 year of Mitchell Robinson or 2+ years of Devo? Because he's not going to leave in free agency, man. Brunson, Bridges, Hart, and DiVincenzo, that's going to be the future of the Knicks.